All right. Welcome. I'm super excited to have you joining me tonight for this workshop. And I promise to make it worth your while. It is not just going to be me talking the whole time. I'm going to guide you through some experiences that are going to cause you to feel more relaxed, more at ease, and some empowering experiences as well. So I'm Jen, in case you don't know me, and I was really excited to see all the people that were signed up tonight that I didn't know. I would love it if you would put in the chat number one if this is your first time being with me in the room with me. And if you've been around for a while and you're part of my posse, I would love to have you put a three in the chat. Awesome. Anna, Haley, Patty, Lynn. So great to have you here. Jennifer, Anna. Oh, I love it. Okay. It's so fun for me. Christine, hi. So fun for me to meet new people. And there's Debbie. I wonder if that's my friend Debbie that I know. Says Debbie's iPhone, so I'm not sure. So thanks for being here, you guys. And if you want to tell me where you're coming from, where you're joining from, I'd love to know that too. I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia, just a short walk from the beach. I always look towards the beach when I say that, and it's very hot, so I haven't been there a whole lot. Pittsburgh, nice. I grew up in Philadelphia. Pennsylvania, nice. Oh, the suburbs of Philly. Awesome, Patty. I'm from Bucks County. I went to Council Rock High School. I haven't lived in Pennsylvania in 30 years, but grew up there. Wisconsin and Florida. And yes, Deb, I see your comment. Sweet. Michigan. Oh, my new friend, Christine. Hi, Christine. Nebraska, New Jersey, Westchester, Pennsylvania, or New York. I went to Westchester University in Pennsylvania. Okay, cool. So enough chat, right? You're ready to get into this, right? Westchester, PA. Sweet, Patty. I love that. Awesome. Haven't been there in a very long time. Went to Westchester, graduated in 89. So what I'm going to do, guys, is share my screen because I have some things to teach you tonight. And I'll be stopping the share a couple times so we can have these experiences together. And at the end of our time together tonight, there'll be plenty of time for you to ask me any questions. So I schedule the 90 minutes so that there's plenty of time and so that, if you do have questions, there's plenty of time at the end, but we may not go 90 minutes, but I hope you'll hang around if you can. So let me just share my screen. And I'm getting a little better at technology, those of you that know me and have been here. So tonight is about the three keys to getting the change out of your head and into your body. And really, it's what I've learned is that we live in our heads. We try to figure life out from our minds, and there's so much more to us. And when we learn to get into the body, things change and they change quickly, which is pretty exciting. And here we go again. I always have these things with as soon as I come on, it doesn't let me return to sorry. All right, so here's where we're going, okay? I'm going to share with you the three keys that I think are the most important things for you to understand to get out of your head and into your body. And that is energy awareness. So really understanding where your energy is going, because whether you realize it or not, everything's energy, including you. And then resetting the nervous system, which we don't always fully understand. So it's the science behind this work that really lights me up. And although we don't know it, calm is actually our natural state, and learning to tune into that calm is really powerful. And then I'm going to activate your power. I'm going to show you how to activate your power to create a life that you really love. Because what I really want you to know is there is so much more to you than you realize. You are not the doubts and the fears. You are not the insecurities that you hold. You're powerful. You're expansive. You're intuitive and you're wise. And it's my intention tonight to connect you to that true part of you. It really is your true self. And it's not something that we've been aware of, most of us. So I've heard these things from many women that I've talked to, been on calls with. Sometimes I already know this, right? We see this stuff all over social media, I believe, about changing your life and stuff about manifesting or creating. And so you might feel like, well, you've listened to the podcast, you've read the books, and you get it. And I used to think that too, until I started to really understand. You might think, I don't have time to add one more thing to my life. And I can tell you that when you learn these things I'm going to teach you, you have so much more time. Everything is easier when you really understand who you are. You might think, I've done the mindset work, I've done therapy, I've done journaling, and none of it works. And I understand why. And you weren't doing it wrong, but I'm going to show you how to shift that, how those things are great and helpful, but there's a missing piece. And a lot of people think they're probably doing it wrong. As a matter of fact, even when I start to work with clients, the first thing they say is, I'm not sure I'm doing this right, Jen, what you're teaching me, but I'm going to help guide you through it and tell you that you can't get what I'm going to teach you tonight wrong. So none of it's your fault. If you've tried, feel like you've tried everything, if you feel like there's more to life, there has to be more to life than what I am living. This constant hamster wheel life, same thing, different day. I have big dreams. Everybody keeps saying, well, you can manifest your dreams. You're the creator. And if it's not working for you, I want you to know it's not your fault. And that's what tonight is for. I'm really going to show you and explain to you the energy behind what's going on in your life. So I hope you'll stay with me for all three parts. We're going to get into energy awareness. We're going to learn how to reset the nervous system and understand personal power and how to activate it. And sometimes I work with women who don't like the word power, but you can change that to master. You're here to master your life. That's what you came for. And that's what tonight is about, giving you an understanding of that. Okay. So I want you to imagine a Tuesday, 10 weeks from now. You wake up before the alarm and you notice that you feel different. Throughout the day, something that would have thrown you off 3 months ago happens and you move through it with ease. And then you start to notice you have more energy, you have more peace. There's more of you living this life, and you actually feel good on the inside. So why should you listen to me? So this is me. My husband, Richard, is a retired firefighter, and he's into all this too and is learning this energy work, which is really fun. But I'm certified in the energy codes and spiritual best. One of my main mentors is Dr. Sue Morter. You can look her up on the internet. She's written a couple of books. I've been learning from her for 15 years. I'm in a mentorship program with her, and I am a teacher assistant for her trainings. And her work that I started learning 15 years ago changed my life. Since then, I've worked with many other coaches and teachers. And so I've learned multiple things from multiple people. But the basis of this work is really understanding your energy and moving that energy. Before that, I was a school teacher for 15 years. And I think that's why I'm pretty good at what I do. Actually, I think I'm really good at what I do, but it's because I love to teach. I love to teach. I love to share. And I've been a teacher all my life. So I owned a yoga studio after I stopped teaching in 2007, got really into yoga, and yoga led me to energy. I became a Reiki master. And then Reiki led me to wanting to know more about energy, which is what brought me to studying with Dr. Sue. And then I did energy healing in a clinic for 6 years. And doing the energy healing in the clinic, what I found was people were coming to me to release unresolved emotion. And you're going to experience that tonight. We're going to clear some emotion from your field and from your subconscious. But what I found is all these women that were coming to me, and I literally have done thousands of energy clearings over the years, they wanted to know more. They didn't want to just have the emotion cleared and go back to life. They wanted to understand how to step into this power to master their energy and ultimately to master their life. And so that's what led me to moving into coaching. I still do the energy healing. It's part of my coaching and teaching, but my work expanded when I realized everybody wants to know this. And I believe everybody came to this lifetime, to this planet, to know this with that deep inner desire. So I've worked with women who have healed from things that modern medicine would say is not healable. I've helped women leave their careers that they thought they would have to retire, or they thought they had to stay in because they needed insurance, but they actually hated going to work every day, and to rebuild a life with doing what they really love, starting a business, or, really living what they wanted to do. I've helped people to repair their relationships with their adult children. As a matter of fact, I've repaired my own relationship with my adult child not too long ago after we went through some stress. And I did it by using this energy work, not by coming from my mind. And this, as one woman told me, but I can't tell you how many people have told me that they got more out of doing this work in just a few weeks than they got from years of therapy. And I was the woman who had those issues. I was the woman who was searching for more, who thought life has to be better than this, more rewarding, more fulfilling. And it is for me now. I've designed a life that I love, and I love helping other women to do that as well. Whoops. So I want you to know it's not you. Okay. If things aren't going well, if you feel stuck, if you feel frustrated, it's not you. The things I'm going to teach you tonight, they've not been taught. We haven't learned these things. You probably see pieces of them on social media, but these are truths that I'm going to share with you tonight. And things are changing. Right now, more people are ready than ever before to awaken to the truth of who they are. As a matter of fact, we will call this time on planet Earth a time of awakening. And what does it mean to awaken? Awaken means to know who you really are, to know you're more than this three-dimensional body with a mind. There is a power flowing through you, a divine consciousness flowing through you that actually came to guide you through your life. And we have not been taught that. And it's time for us to know and live from there. So I want you to let me show you what almost everyone in the personal growth world believes and why it actually doesn't work. I don't even consider what I do personal growth. Okay. You might, because it sounds kind of like it is, but it's not. The belief is that if you want your life to feel different, you change your thinking. Everyone's talking about thoughts become things. Heck, I've posted things that say that. Catch the limiting belief, replace it, choose a better thought, reprogram the inner dialogue, and life follows. And here's the thing, guys, it is true. All of that is true, but there's so much more to it. It's not just changing your thoughts. Mindset work changes what you think, but it doesn't change where you live in your body. And where you live in your body is what's actually running your life. My work is about embodiment. And you may be familiar with the chakra system. You don't have to be, it doesn't matter, but they could have studied and they can measure our chakras. And what we know from Eastern medicine is that our chakra system is the basis of who we are. It's the levels of consciousness that are here for us to awaken to. And so we're not living fully awake in our body, which means we're not living fully as we could. I hope that makes sense. So what it means for you practically is it's different. It's a different action. We have to feel the feelings in our body when we have to move the energy through our body. And we can do that because we know that energy follows thought. Remember, I said it's the science I love. People would call this woo-woo. And if we start talking spirituality, it sounds woo-woo. But we're living in a time where science and spirituality are marrying. They're realizing, oh, science is realizing, oh, that's actually what we've been saying. We've been pushing it away because it's the woo-woo, when in fact, it's really the truth. And I'll get deeper into that tonight. So it's not about adding more onto your plate. I sometimes think that, as women anyway, we're always giving and we're always doing, and adding another thing just leads to exhaustion. It's about understanding how to move your energy so that everything is enhanced that you're already doing. And then you're no longer managing exhaustion. I used to get exhausted. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I have a really busy day today. I had a couple of clients. I had a lot going on. And then I had this tonight, and I was doing some final things with the slideshow. And I started to feel tired. And I was like, well, I can't go on tonight and be tired. So my husband made dinner. I said, no, thanks. I'll eat when it's over. I went into my room and I laid down on my bed. I put some classical music on, and I spent 15 minutes rejuvenating my energy. doing the work that I teach so that I could come here and give you everything I have and be here fully for you. So we get tired when we're in our head and we're stuck in our feeling of, oh my gosh, I got to do this, I got to do this. And when we tune into the energy and start moving it, we actually move the exhaustion out and we expand the energy that we are. And we're like the Energizer bunny. We can go on and we feel really good doing it. Not like, when's this going to end? So it's really a different understanding when we get into energy. Whoops. And please forgive me for my touchy screen. So it won't let me do the and I just have to laugh at myself because, all right, this is Jen. This is Jen. I've been working with Jen since 2021. And when she first came to me, she had stress and pain and emotional weight. And she didn't even realize what she was holding on in her body. She was tired. She was sore. She wasn't sleeping well. As a matter of fact, her feet hurt so much, she could barely walk. Jen would come into, I saw her in person at first, and she would come in and she literally could barely walk. And it's because her energy wasn't even flowing into her feet because she was so in her head. And so we started to release what she was holding on to, stuff that she'd been holding on to for years, even from when she was born. When she was born and she was in her mother's womb, there was an accident. And, we hold on to all of that energy. We hold on to whatever emotion our mother was experiencing when she was carrying us. We actually hold on to our grandmother's energy because that's in our mother. And so she had so much subconsciously keeping her stuck and holding her back. And so we cleared that. We got her things moving, we got her nervous system regulated, and she really began to embody. Her foot pain went away. And then she changed jobs and found a job that was so much more fulfilling. So I think it's really important for you to see other people's stories, because sometimes you can see yourself in somebody else's story and think, oh, okay, well, if that worked for her, maybe it could work for me. I promise you that it works for everybody. So we're going to get right into these keys. So the first key is energy awareness. We are not aware of what's going on in our body. And so I'm going to teach you tonight how to notice what you're feeling, how to do a body scan, and how to do what we call in my work building circuits. Okay, so right away, I'm going to take you into this body scan. And so what I would love for you to do is what it says on the slide doesn't even really matter. I would like you to close your eyes if you're in a place where you can do that. You're not driving. And I'd like you to take a deep breath into your belly and count that breath. Let's inhale together to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can, go to 5. For a lot of people, that's going to be hard if this isn't something you've done before. And then just exhale and let all the breath go. It might even feel good. We're going to do this again. And it might feel good on the exhale to really let it go. So take another breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you can go there, 6 if you can go there, but don't worry if you can't. And then exhale and let it go. We're going to do this one more time. Deep, slow belly breath. Maybe it's the first conscious breath you took today. That's okay. And then exhale and Now, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to start at the crown of your head and bring your awareness there. Notice the crown of your head. Notice your scalp. And then glide your awareness down to your eyes. Notice the muscles around and behind your eyes, and your cheeks and your jaw. Just notice, just be curious without judgment. And then move your awareness down into your neck and into your shoulders. Are your shoulders up close to your ears? If they are, notice. Maybe you can relax them. Let your arms be heavy. Now scan your torso. Scan through your chest. down into your solar plexus where you're breathing. I hope that you're breathing there. Sometimes we're not because we haven't been and it's clenched and locked up. And scan down into your hips. Notice how your hips feel. Can you relax them? And then scan down your legs. And this is just about awareness. But what tends to happen as we become aware is we start to relax. We start to let go of where we've been holding on all day and we didn't even realize it. So just notice, and I would love it if you would share in the chat if you felt anything there. If you noticed places where you were holding tension that maybe you weren't even aware of. I know for me in the beginning, it was always my jaw. My jaw would be so tight. And if you don't want to share, that's fine. You know, sometimes when people are on these kind of calls and webinars, they have people share just to keep you engaged. And I'm not a sharer, usually. I'm not a person in the chat. But I like you to write things down because it solidifies it. The brain then goes, oh, yeah, I got that. It's like you remember. So chest, heart, hips. Oh, Susie, and the left hip's been hurting. Okay, we can bring some energy there tonight. Feeling more relaxed. Thank you. Jaw, stomach. Yeah, it's different, right? For everybody. Our thighs. Yeah, it's so interesting where we hold tension and tightness. It's important to understand that because here's what I want you to know. You're made of energy and the energy is meant to be flowing through you. So where you're contracted or constricted, you aren't flowing. The divine consciousness, the stream of really power that you are isn't flowing. And so we want to get it flowing. Neck and hands. It's interesting. Wrists and ankles. Yeah. Okay. Base of your skull. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, you guys. It's helpful for me too, to see that. And as we go through tonight, you're going to feel some of that, even more of that leaving. You might have felt some of it leaving just by bringing your attention there. And here's why. Where your mind goes, energy flows. So just by bringing your mind into your body, you start to draw energy into your body. I think my next slide is going to show you this. Yeah, good. Okay. So this is the science behind who you are. My certification is in bioenergetics. It sounds like a big smart thing, but it's not. It's just the energy of your body, right? It's understanding how the energy is moving through your body. So you are a toric field of energy. And this is what this toric field looks like. You're a stream of consciousness and you are flowing from the cosmos into a physical body. And that might be hard to wrap your head around the first time you hear that, but I want you to know that that's the source of your being. Your source is the energy flowing through you. Some people will call it God, the universe, the unified field, or consciousness. We're made of a flow of consciousness. So this energy, this flow of consciousness has been flowing through you your entire life. It has to, because it's what keeps you alive. And it flows. If you look at my picture, this is a toric field, or sometimes it's called the torus man. This is quantum science. It flows through the central channel of the body. These colors represent your chakras, those, as I mentioned earlier, those levels of your consciousness. And so you flow right through here. If you're flowing straight through here, you're activating all of those levels of your consciousness. Your energy, this stream that you are, we are all a stream, a flow of moving energy, is landing in the earth. And then it is rising right back up this channel and it's fountaining around you. So you, and it's in the front and the back, it's all sides. You are a fountaining flow of energy. In fact, this flow of energy that you are is the fountain of youth that was searched for. You are the fountain of youth. And I can tell you this, a little aside, when you start tuning into this energy, not only does healing happen in the body and manifestation happens more quickly, but you start to age backward. You start to feel younger in your body and to look younger because that energy is replenishing you, and it's supposed to be replenishing you. It's meant to be. But you see this other picture? This is what happens. This other picture, these black bars in here are like gunk in the system. It's like this energy that's trying to flow through, it can't now flow through the central channel. The bridge is out. And so it's making its way through because it has to make its way through you. It has to land in the earth and rise because this is the way our bioenergetics work. This is who we are. And when this stops, we're out of the body. We stop. But these places where the energy is not flowing are unresolved emotion that you've been carrying maybe for your life, or like I mentioned, your mother's unresolved emotion. These blocks are limiting beliefs. Well, I'm not good enough and that'll never happen for me. Well, you got to work hard to make money, and all those things that have been instilled in us from well-meaning parents that definitely did not understand these truths. All that is gunked up in our field. And so it's no wonder that we have struggles in life or health issues, because all that gunk in the field keeps the field from flowing. Now, once I get teaching, there's so much I want to say. And so I do have to at least mention this. It wasn't in my plan tonight, but your life is a reflection of your energy flow. I just spoke at Harvard last month, and it was about just this. You are like a movie projector. You might have seen this on social media. You're receiving this consciousness. It's flowing through this body and it's picking up what you're holding on to, and it's projecting it out into the life you're living. So if you're holding on to unworthiness, you're projecting that out into the life you're living, which is like a movie screen, and life reflects back what we project out. That was my story. I was holding on to unworthiness and insecurity and uncertainty, and it was flowing from me. And I kept stepping into one situation after another where I was insecure and unsure and had no confidence. And then, I had a husband who left me. I had all these things that happened to me. And now I realize I really wasn't a victim of those circumstances. I was unconsciously creating this life from within. And so mastering your energy is about no longer unconsciously creating your life. It's about stepping into the deliberate creator that you came here to be. So take a deep breath into your belly and just let that land, because sometimes that can make us feel a little uncomfortable, but I got to give it to you straight, because I want you to have everything that you can tonight to know that you are here to create. You are masterful, and understanding that energy is the first step. So I'm going to teach you a different breath, okay? That's going to help guide the energy through this channel. It's going to help getting your flow moving. This is exactly what I did when I took that 20-minute break before we came on tonight. And it might seem strange and different because I'm going to have you breathe in through the top of your head. And the first time someone told me to do that, I was like, what? But just go with it and see how it feels. I think you'll love it. So I invite you to sit tall. Again, if you can, I invite you to close your eyes, because we're trying to embody, we're trying to tune into our inner world. And I don't like the word trying. So we are embodying, we're doing it. I want you to visualize this picture, visualize this stream that's flowing. It is you. And just imagine that you're taking a breath and it's coming in through the crown of your head. And just as you inhale, let your mind move through your brain, through your throat, through your heart, and then into your belly. Expand your belly. And when you exhale, imagine you're exhaling that breath right down through your tailbone, through your chair, and it's landing in the earth. And when you take that next breath, again, just imagine, you can't get it wrong. You're powerful. Draw the breath from the earth up into your body, into a soft, expansive belly. And when you exhale, send that breath up through this central channel and out the crown of your head. We're going to go again. Draw a breath down through the channel. Don't worry if it feels stuck. Sometimes it feels like it can't go through there. That's okay. We're going to carve a pathway. Be gentle and loving with yourself. Breathe it into the belly. And then exhale into the earth. Drawing the next breath from the earth right back up into the belly. Imagine it's coming up into you because it is. It's ascending and descending every moment. Exhale up and out the crown of your head. And we'll do it one more time. Breathe in from above your head. Follow it behind your eyes, through your throat, through your heart, soft belly. And exhale and drop it into the earth. Now I just want you to sit for a moment and notice how you feel. You're welcome to tell me in the chat how you feel. Share with us if anybody would like to share, and you can open your eyes. And so what I want you to know is that's the real you. You are a spirit animating a physical body. And sometimes people say, teachers say, and spiritual teachers say, you're a spirit here to have a human experience. But I want you to know you are a spirit here to have a spiritual experience in a human body. There's a difference. That's what it means to awaken. Awakening to the truth of who you are, this spirit moving through the body. I'm just looking at the chat. Oh, that's how you meditate, Jennifer. Beautiful. You can feel more coming in from the earth. Yeah, it's not unusual, Susie, that sometimes people will feel it more coming down. It's easier to breathe down. Sometimes it's easier to breathe up. Eventually, it'll feel like a really beautiful flow. Excellent, Christine. And that's exactly what happens. We start to clear because we keep going through the channel, going through the channel. Okay. So I breathe like this a lot, not all the time, but often. I sit in my car, I open the channel, I take a breath. I call it a central channel breath. That's what my teacher calls it. Take a central channel breath and I exhale into the earth, maybe one or two, and then I go on with my day. Maybe I'm in the car and I'm traveling somewhere. Then I stop at a traffic light. The old me at the traffic light would have been my mind thinking, okay, I got to do this and I got to do this. And oh, that really ticked me off. The new me sits at the traffic light, opens my channel and breathes and connects to my divine self, connects to my power. Yes. Oh, hi, Markella. It's not odd that you feel grounded. It's actually perfect that you feel grounded. Ooh, let's talk about that, because we are tuning into our spirit. And so many people think when you tune into your spirit or your higher self or this power flowing through you, that it's out there. Let me tell you what, it is out there. Our job is to bring it in here and let it land. That's what our job is. We are a bridge between heaven and earth. And we came here to live in a body to bring heaven to earth, our divinity into our humanity. So it's awesome that you feel grounded. It means it's working. And let me tell you what, when you bring heaven to earth, life becomes more heavenly. You would not believe how your life changes when you really tune in and start living as this being. How can you open yourself to the lighter part of the breath compared to scrutinizing the physical facts of how breathing works? So it's about your mind, right? Your mind loves to get involved. Your mind wants to run the show. Your mind thinks that it needs to keep you safe and protected, and it will keep getting involved. I can tell you over time, we learn to put the mind in the backseat and let the soul, this consciousness, this divine essence that you are, take the keys and drive the vessel. It doesn't happen overnight. but it happens. Everybody that I work with ends up feeling that and living from that space. So I hope that's helpful. Feel more lifted and grounded. That's beautiful, Emily. Beautiful. Yes. All right. Awesome. Let me see where we go, where we're going. All right. So the second key, all right, that was the first key, that awareness and bringing you in here and feeling that energy moving. So I want to just make sure we got that. The second key is resetting our nervous system. I love this Zen quote. Tension is who you think you are. Relaxation is who you are. We are meant to go through life feeling at ease. And that does not mean lazy, laying around, not getting anything done. I have a busy life. I love my busy life, and it's easy. I can see clients in the morning, go upstairs, make some sourdough bread. Oh, I still have 30 minutes. I have time to run to the store, come home, see clients. Like some days I can't believe everything I get done because I'm relaxed on the inside. And so, as a matter of fact, my license plate says, taking it easy. When you have a feeling of ease, it makes life so easy, right? The ease inside, here it is reflecting from me. I move through the struggles of life with so much ease, but the ease has to start on the inside. We think that when this happens, life's going to get easier. Well, as soon as I get through this, it's going to get easier. I promise you it's not. The ease has to come inside, and the ease has to be felt in our nervous system. Okay, so calm is a setting, not an achievement. And it's like a thermostat. We have a thermostat, an energetic thermostat in our body, and we're running on high alert constantly. Everyone I work with is in sympathetic dominance nervous system, fight or flight constantly, running from that next bear, trying to figure out that next thing. And what happens is we get stuck there. The thermostat is stuck there. So you might have moments of calm. You might, crash in front of Netflix or have a glass of wine or even go to yoga and have moments of calm, meditate and feel like, oh yeah, there it is. But because our thermostat is set to stress, we go back to it. And we don't even realize why. Okay. Some of this, and actually the main part of this, is your vagus nerve. Again, a little bit of science for you. You may or may not have heard of the vagus nerve. It's not what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's vagus means wandering. Your vagus nerve runs from your brainstem all the way down the spine, through the torso, and it has all these wandering shoots off of it that touch every organ in your body. So think about that. If you're stressed and overwhelmed and in fight or flight, the vagus nerve, it's called vagal tone, you might have heard of that, it's tense. Okay. So all those fibers of the vagus nerve are touching every organ in your body. So your liver and your stomach and everything, your heart, it is all getting this message of stress, high alert. And you guys, you know what the opposite of ease is. It's dis-ease, right? So we know that this emotion we hold on to, this tightness and dis-ease in the body, this stress, is what causes us to become sick. So we have to learn to relax the vagus nerve or shift our vagal tone. And I'm going to guide you through a breath that's going to do that. But this sentence at the bottom is really important to me. In order to live your dream, your nervous system has to be able to hold that dream. So this is why so many people that are doing mindset work or think about your dream, you're going to create it, you're the creator. This is why, if you've been thinking about it and trying to picture it and bring it into your life, why it hasn't happened. Because if you're still in fight or flight, if the physical body is still stressed out, I don't care how many visions of your dream you get. I don't care how many journal entries you write that say, I am living this. Your nervous system has to be able to hold it or it can't become true. And this is why your subconscious mind runs your life. Your subconscious mind receives that divine instruction, flows through the body, and it gets those messages. If we're relaxed and there's a communication system between conscious and subconscious we call it the trap door in my work. If that trap door is open, we're able to get the messages to the subconscious. And now healing happens, ease happens, and we start realizing our dreams. Okay. So the breath to relax your nervous system is that deep belly breath that I had you do, but there's a little bit more to it. I want you to take your hands like this and wrap them around. And I don't know if you can see me because my screen's so small, but like right under your breasts at your rib cage. Okay. And then you can kind of relax your hands there. It feels a little awkward, but it won't be for too long. But what I want you to do is take a breath, a belly breath. So when we talk about a belly breath, we're filling our lungs from the bottom up. Okay. So when you breathe in, most of us are breathing in the upper lobes of the lungs, the shallow breathing. And while I'm talking, if you want to move your hands, you can. I start talking and then it's like, wait, you're sitting there with your hands there. So let me just tell you this. In the upper lobes of your lungs, there's all these nerve endings for fight or flight. Because if we are running from a bear, if we are dealing with something stressful, we don't want to breathe slow and easy. We got to get the heck out of there. But that's where we're stuck. The lower lobes of the lungs, deep and low in the lungs, are where all the many nerve endings are for what is called rest and heal, rest and digest. Sometimes it's called, because then our digestion starts to heal because we're at ease and we're bringing energy there. I call it rest and create, because you create your life from that place. So we want to be filling the lungs from the bottom up. And then that also comes all the way up into the solar plexus, which is right where I had you put your hands. So I want you to take some slow, deep breaths, and you're going to fill from the bottom up, but not just the front of your belly is expanding. The reason your hands are there is I want you to feel this way, expanding all the way around the body. It might be tricky. For some people who aren't used to taking deep breaths in the beginning, you might feel stuck down there. It's okay. Be lovingly patient with yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. And just see if you can take some deep, slow breaths and start to feel that expansion. And just keep doing it while I talk for a moment. What I want to say is, I said there's nothing wrong with you. And I want you to know everything I'm teaching you, you already know. Your soul knows this. You're divine. I can tell you right now, your soul is jumping up and down because you're here listening, because she's been wanting you to know this. She's ready for you to awaken and bring her into your life. So anything I'm teaching you is really me helping you remember the truth of who you are. So breathe that breath. Let it feel good. After you've got that and you can feel that expansiveness in your ribs, then you can drop your hands and then see if you can keep that breath going so that it's expanding your body on all sides. It takes 4 or 5 of these breaths to shift your nervous system. Let me know how that feels. Feels great. Yeah. There's nothing better. And this is why you're relaxing. Yes, feeling relaxed. And so this is your natural state. That relaxed feeling, that ease, it's your natural state. Feels cleansing. Beautiful, Julie. But here's what I want you to know. You start to feel that. It's okay if you don't feel much different, Paula. Maybe you were relaxed, or maybe you weren't able to get the breath fully down in there. So either way, it's okay. But often when people start to feel relaxed and they're doing this breath, then they think, oh, I'm so tired. When I do an energy session with somebody, it's in the beginning, especially when they haven't had it done before, they say, oh, I'm so tired. It's because, and it's normal to feel that, it's because you're shifting your nervous system and you're activating the parasympathetic state, and you think it's tired. It's actually your natural state. When that becomes your normal state, it doesn't feel like tired. It feels relaxed. It feels like I'm unstoppable because I have this power flowing through me and this expansive energy field. And so I'm at ease, but I'm able to get things done. I'm at ease and I'm able to make it happen. Okay, so that's something to take with you. That is a great breath to do when you're falling asleep at night. That is a great breath to do if you have trouble falling asleep at night, or if you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and now your mind won't stop. Drop your mind down into your belly and start breathing. Because I'll just give you this quickly. Your mind field, we are made of layers and layers of energy, and your mind field anchors itself in your solar plexus. Your solar plexus rests at the base of your sternum. So when we are in worry, fear, anxiety, overwhelm, our solar plexus is locked down. So if you had trouble breathing that big, expansive breath, that's why. Worry, fear, overwhelm, anxiety are all stuck in that solar plexus. And we have to move the energy in there and start to open it up. I visualize it like we're kind of breaking it apart and bringing in more of the truth of who we are. I hope that makes sense. Okay, here I go again. Touchy, touchy, touchy. Okay, so all right, this is, I don't know how important this is, but maybe you've tried these things, right? Deep breathing, it gets you calmer in the moment. Vacation, it gets you calmer, but usually it takes 3 or 4 days for vacation. It gives you some time to get space and breathe, but you end up coming back to that same set point. That's the purpose of this. We come back to that same set point. Self-care is so good. I love a warm bath. I love a massage. I get regular massages, but it's not creating the lasting change. We have to energetically create the lasting change so that our new set point is this feeling. And yoga and meditation. I'm a yoga teacher. I owned a yoga studio. I love yoga and meditation, but we have to bring this into everyday life and not just on the yoga mat, right? So those of you that do yoga and meditation, I often say to my clients, yeah, you can sit and meditate every morning. But if you get up from your meditation and you go out into life and you don't carry that with you, that state of being, then nothing changes in your outer life. So what we are doing is changing our inner state of being. Your state of being is creating your life. All right. Oh, no, that's what we just did. Okay. Now, this is going to be exciting. This part I love. So we are going to clear some emotion. And it takes too much time to explain this. So we're just going to do it. And later, actually, anyone that books a call with me, I can tell you this, you're going to get your own private energy clearing. I'm going to tell you about that at the end, one-on-one with me. And in that, if you decide to do that, I'll go deeper into explaining this to you. This is what started my energy training, is understanding this. It's called BEST. BEST stands for Bioenergetic Synchronization Technique. And what it is those 2 pictures I showed you of the field, the one that was perfected and the one that was all gunked up. This is clearing the gunk. It's getting into your field, clearing the emotion so that your energy can flow with more ease. And what's really cool about this is it works for a group. And a couple of my clients that are in my year-long program are here. Vicky is one of them. She's helping me with letting people in and putting lots of hearts in the chat. Thanks, Vic. And so I can tell you, like, sometimes people are like, well, you're going to clear energy from my field and what? And now we're in a group and you're going to clear emotion and we're all going to have the same emotion cleared. And yep, I am. And so I'm not going to explain to you how it works, and you might feel it and you might not. Often people say they feel amazing afterwards. I can tell you this, if you're very present as we do this, so hopefully there's not a lot of noise around you and you're not being, drawn away from this. If you're very present with this, you'll probably sleep amazing tonight. Anybody that has an energy clearing ends up having a beautiful night's sleep, because what's happening is, I will tell you this, we're creating new circuits in your brain. We're clearing gunk so that the circuitry in your brain and in your field can start to hook up differently. And creating those circuits, the integration of that happens even more tonight as you sleep. Okay. So to do this, I'm going to have you close your eyes again and start to breathe. You're already breathing, but start to breathe consciously. I'm going to guide you through a little something to get you really tuned in to chakra 12, which we're not really getting into tonight, but it's an important part of who you are. Your true essence, the creative presence that is you. In my work, we call chakra 12. It's divine love. And so as you're breathing, I'd like you to be breathing as deeply as you can in the belly. Don't worry so much about stretching the solar plexus like we were before. Let this feel easy and relaxed. But as you're breathing in the belly, I want you to just imagine that you're inside this egg or this orb of energy, because you are. And I want you to imagine, the mind is so powerful. When we imagine, we create. So imagine from the outer edge of this energy field that you're breathing into your core. And when you exhale out and beyond the body. Relaxing wherever you might feel any tension or tightness, just soften. Give your body permission to relax. As you breathe this breath in and out. And I'm just going to say some words that describe this breath, that describe this truth of who you are. It's precious. It's tender and divine. And because this breath is you, you are precious. You are tender and divine. It's awe-inspiring and filled with wonder. And so just let it feel good. Let it feel easy. You can't get this wrong. Okay. And the first emotion I'm going to clear is going to be related to something that you're struggling with in life. So I just want you to bring to mind anything you're struggling with. It could be a relationship, it could be finances, it could be health, a dream. And if there's more than one thing, which often there is, just choose the first thing that comes to mind. And I want you to hold that struggle on your mind. Your body might respond to that. It might tighten. That's okay. Just keep thinking about it. Okay. Now, just keep your eyes closed and relax. Stay relaxed. And I'm going to tell you what the emotion is that came up. And I'm going to read you a little description from my teacher so that you understand. The emotion that's related to this struggle is, and it could be from past, and it might not feel like it fits, so don't judge it, but it's feeling persecuted. And persecuted comes from a lineage, comes from our history, multiple lifetimes or ways of surviving. The feeling of being chastised or persecuted puts us into victim mode until we choose not to be persecuted, until we choose that the world is in our favor. For some, this can be the sole path of a lifetime. But if we can allow an even imagined support, it moves us into that creative place instead of feeling like we're a victim. So that just gives you a little understanding of the energy of persecuted. And as we clear it, I'm going to have you do some things and just try it, okay? Just play the game with me. You're going to keep your head neutral, but I want you to open your eyes and shift your gaze to the left. and hold that as best you can. We're activating parts of your brain. At the same time, you're just going to have that slow rhythmic breath. And I'm going to say the number 7. That puts 7 into the field, and 7 represents trust. Now I'm going to read a forgiveness statement, and you just let it move through you. I forgive and release any interference associated with being persecuted. I allow unconditional support to rise in every aspect of my life. I embrace the perspective that the world is in my favor. Clearing interference from persecuted, known or unknown, conscious or subconscious. Good. You can relax and let all that go. We are now going to do something called the writing reflex. With your eyes open, you're going to drop your chin to your chest, and then you're going to just lift your head right back up. And that is like locking into your subconscious and your brain what we just cleared. And then I want you to then close your eyes again and drop back into that precious sacred breath. We're going to clear one more thing tonight, and I'm going to find out what it is. Okay. Now, this may or may not be related to your last thing you thought of, but I want you to bring to mind a person in your life that you feel something unresolved with, that if they showed up in the room right now, you'd have a reaction. And it can be from 2 weeks ago or something that happened with this person 10 years ago. And once you have that person, again, multiple people might come to mind. Once you have that person, I want you to stay focused on that person in your mind. Okay. Now just relax. I'm going to read you this emotion. And again, don't worry if you can't make a connection. Most people usually end up, after they hear it, that they can make the connection. But the emotion is satisfied. And so our protective personality, or our ego, our mind, craves to be satisfied. And when we're identified as the personality, satisfied will be threatened because the mind is rarely satisfied. When we connect to the soul, satisfaction is experienced. So we want to identify as the one who doesn't need to think, know, or judge, established as the soulful self, no matter what it takes. Forgiving interference around satisfied. So again, I just read it, that those are my teacher's words. I read it to put that essence into the field. The way we're going to clear this is your eyes are going to be closed, and this time you're going to look downward, just like you're trying to look at your cheeks, and hold that with your eyes as best you can. I want you to have that slow rhythmic breath, and this time the number is 6, and 6 represents vision and acceptance. I forgive and release any interference my protective personality or my ego has generated around satisfied. I embrace satisfied and still the mind. Releasing interference, known or unknown, conscious or subconscious, regarding satisfied. Good. Relax. You're going to open your eyes, dropping your chin to your chest for 1 second, and then lifting it back up. And then we will go on. But I want to tell you something about that clearing. So you might have felt something, you might not have felt something. Everybody's experience is different. But I want to tell you this quick story. When I worked at the clinic, they decided to do a commercial. It was a physical therapy office, and they decided to do a commercial. And so they came in and I was interviewed about what I do. And the woman who interviewed me said, can I lay on the table and can you go through the motions of what you do with a clearing so we can videotape it? And I said, sure. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask the questions of your field. I'm going to get my answers and, we're going to do it. So she laid on the table. I did it. A person came up and she thought about the person and we cleared an emotion. Then the rest of the day we went on. The next day, the reporter sent me a message and she said, the person I was thinking about yesterday, I have had a struggle with for so long. It's somebody that works in my office. I have a really hard time with it. It really stresses me out. She said, today, everything was fine. All of my internal struggle and the way I was feeling about this person, it was completely cleared. And it was so exciting to me. I know this work works, right? But it was so exciting to have somebody who wasn't even there for a full session clear one emotion and see a shift in her life. So I don't know what's going to happen for you after this clearing, but I would love for you to have that story because you just never know. And it's always a good thing to clear something that we've been holding on to that's preventing us from fully stepping into our magnificence. And that's really what that was about. Okay. So I got to get better at at the technology. I just want to look in the chat quick. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Emily. I'm glad you said that. The mind is rarely satisfied. The mind is never satisfied. Okay. And the soul always is. And that's what my work is. My work is about awakening you to the part of you that's been here all along, sitting in the back seat saying, man, if you would just let me get involved in your life, we could really be going places. And that's because the soul is filled with joy. She loves the experience you're having. And at first you might think, whoa, you don't know what I'm going through, Jen. My soul's not loving that. But when you start to understand who you really are, you start to understand that at a deep level. And then things really do shift. Thanks, Emily, for writing that. Okay. We're going to talk about the third key, the power activation. Okay. And I love this because we're saving it for last because we've expanded our field. You breathing the way I had you breathe, whether it was this way, part of the way, and when we were going up and down the channel, you've expanded your energy field. You've moved the thermostat a little bit tonight on what's been going on inside of you. Okay. And already, I hope you're feeling it. There's embodiment that's happening. Okay. Embodiment means living fully in our body, not living solely from the mind. We need a mind. I would never say we don't need the mind. I love my mind. And our ego, or what my teacher calls your protective personality, it is your personality. I love my personality. I'm goofy and like to laugh and do silly things. And I wouldn't want that to go away. I don't want to become this, it's not about becoming this big, I think I'm better spiritual person, because nobody's better. We're all made of that. So we need all those parts of us. It's just bringing the biggest part of us online that starts to make the difference. And so that's what we've been doing, expanding the field, moving the energy, becoming a little more embodied. Now, what I'm going to do is guide you through a future self activation, because you've heard about, I imagine, maybe on social media about creating your life and visualizing it. And yes, that's all important, but we want to embody it. So I'm going to guide you through this another embodiment experience that's going to help really land what we've been doing so far tonight. And so if you're still here and you've been here since the beginning, I'm so happy for you and for me. Thanks for being here, because it's a whole lot more fun to be talking to people and not myself. And so I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. I do love to teach. So it's not just another visualization experience, okay? We're going to be grounded. It's about connecting to who you are becoming. And yet, even when I say that, I have to say this. You kind of have to say it because you are becoming, but you're not changing. You're not becoming someone you're not. You're awakening to the parts of you that haven't been awake yet. You're remembering who you really are, okay? You're perfect just the way you are. There's nothing broken. There's nothing wrong. You're perfect. You just don't know yourself wholly and completely. Most likely that's why you're here. And so I just want you to know that there's nothing, it's not about becoming a better person. It's definitely not that. It's about remembering who we really are. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes again. This will be the last time. Okay. And just again, settle into your breath. We've noticed our energy. We've created space in our nervous system. Now we're going to go somewhere a little bit different. And so breathe that slow, easy breath. Let it feel good. Hopefully it's becoming very natural for you. That slow breath, and just settle. If you're in a chair with a back, settle back into the chair. And relax. Hopefully by now you're even more relaxed. It's not going to take long to relax, but let your jaw soften, your shoulders soften. Let your mind drop down into your body. Feel the breath as it moves in and out. And I want you to imagine yourself 1 year from today. I don't want you to worry about what this future you is doing or what she's accomplished. I want you to notice how she feels. How does she move through her day? How does she carry herself? What does she no longer worry about? And what does she trust now, 1 year from today, that you're still trying to figure out? What does she know about you that you may have forgotten? Just sit with this for a moment. Now imagine that she is standing in front of you. Look at her and ask her one question. What do I need to know right now? Don't think about the answer. Just notice what comes up. What do I need to know right now? What is the one thing that she does differently that you could begin doing today? One thing, one choice, one response, one belief. One shift. Now I want you to put a hand on your heart. And you can say this silently, or if you feel safe, you're muted, so you can say this out loud, whatever feels good. I don't have to become someone else. I am remembering who I am. I don't have to become someone else. I am remembering who I am. And then take a deep belly breath and exhale with a ha. And then you can open your eyes. I want you to know that most of us have been trying to create the life we want from the outside in. You've been told to think differently, believe differently, visualize the life you want, but your body hasn't been there. Your body has to experience the possibility too. That's what activation means. Instead of waiting for your life to change so you can feel different, you begin to change the way you feel now. You create the energy of the woman that you're becoming, and you let your choices begin to follow that. That's how we embody. That's how we make the shift. I showed you Jen earlier that I worked with. I want to show you some of the women, and I started with Jen in 2021, and these are some of the women that I've worked with most recently. I'll start with Vicki and her horse because she's the one that's been putting all the hearts in the chat, and she's the one that's been helping me with the Zoom tonight. And these are her words. I'm grateful and blessed to have you come into my life at the divine time, showing me how my true self can emerge as I become more aligned and balanced from what you teach. And Vicki's been with me for a few months. She did my 12 weeks, and then she entered into my year-long advanced program so that she could keep embodying, because it takes some practice, but everyone can do it. Jill, the first one on the slide, she posted this on social media and it just made me smile. Working with Jen is magic. She's helped me in ways I can't begin to explain. If you feel like there's something missing, something bigger, something meant for you, then this work, something bigger meant for you, excuse me, then this work is meant for you. And I'm not sure if Maria's here or not tonight or not too, but I knew she was planning to be here. Working with Jen has been a transformative journey. She helped me remember I'm the creator of my life, allowing me to regain my energy, confidence, and a true sense of control. Because of her guidance, I successfully shifted from being a stressed reactor to a confident creator. And I share those words because not one of these women has something you don't have. We all have it inside of us. They learn to create from the inside out with awareness, support, and practice, and their lives began to change. And so I was looking for a quote for this slide today, and this is another quote from a client about Jen is masterful at helping people remember and recover their power. Once you're anchored in your breath, mindfulness, and heart, your behaviors and actions align for success. I love this Nikola Tesla quote, though, because most people are so absorbed in observing the outside world that they completely forget what's going on inside of themselves. And we are creating our life from the inside out. It's science. We now realize that, but we haven't been taught that. And I'll tell you what, I didn't teach my children that. And now they are 23 and 33, and I'm like backpedaling, trying to teach them how powerful they are. So I have a new grandson, and I'm certainly going to teach him that he is the creator of his life, and he's magnificent and unstoppable. Anything's possible for every one of us. We just don't know it. So clearing the energy makes space for the real you. And the version of you that comes online afterwards starts changing the things that you accepted as permanent. You can't think your life into a body that has never learned to hold, that your body has never learned to hold. We have to hold our dreams and feel them energetically, embody them for them to become real. So I'm just curious, are you going to be a woman who keeps reading about this, or are you ready to embody? And if you are, I'm going to invite you to work with me. I would love to talk to you more about working with me. I'm going to really briefly tell you about my program if you're interested. And if you want to stick around, I'll also tell you about how you can get the bonuses for tonight. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. So I already told you these three things. You don't need that. That's the whole system. Oh, this quote really matters to me. I actually have two coaches. I have an energy coach and a business coach. And this quote I heard from my coach this week: you have to do this work by yourself, but you can't do it alone. And I absolutely believe that. It's an inside job, but there's something really powerful about being in a group with other women and learning how to do this with other women. As a matter of fact, I have an email I was going to share with you. Let me see if I can find it. One of the women in my Soul Alchemy group sent me an email. I think I left it in my printer. Sorry. And it was pretty amazing. She had this experience at the spa this week, and she said she's been really trying to embody, she's been really trying to understand what I've been teaching her, and we've been tuning into chakra 10. So the way you breathe into chakra 10, that's the landing pad. I didn't get into chakra 10 tonight because it's so much to explain. But she went to a spa, and the first thing she did was she walked in and she put in a raffle to win, a ticket to win the raffle. And she said to the lady when she put it in, look at the name on that raffle because I'm going to be the winner. And she won the raffle. Well, that's cool. That happens. Stuff like that happens to me all the time. But she said, Jen, that wasn't the profound part. She said, I got into the red light therapy is what she was doing. I'm sorry, I don't have her words to read. And she said, I said to myself again, I'm dropping into chakra 10. Why can I not feel and tune into chakra 10? So she said, I asked my higher self. And she said, in my mind, I saw myself in this pink blazer. I saw myself on the edge of chakra 10. So chakra 10 is you in the earth. It's where we're rising from. And she said, suddenly my higher self reached her hand up and pulled me in. And I said to her, what do you want me to know? And she said, you are safe. And that's exactly what tonight I was guiding you through, tuning into that higher self. But that's what this work is about. It's having a relationship with your higher self. It's walking through life together with your higher self. There are two parts of you: this divine essence that came here to create a life, and then this personality that lives in lack and victimhood because she just hasn't known, hasn't understood. So my 12-week program, it's not a course. It's me guiding you on live calls every week, guiding you inward to shift your energy, to release what's stuck, and to tune you in to who you really are. I call it soul alchemy because we're alchemizing. And so it includes 12 live calls with me every week. It's one day a week for 12 weeks. It includes my meditation library, which actually you're going to get some of that tonight. Everything's recorded and available for you to watch anytime afterwards. It includes these clearings like we did tonight, group energy clearings, being in a community and being able to share and learn from the community. And I cap it at 10 women because I want you to get one-on-one guidance. And you do get one-on-one guidance. And so this is just some of, I was looking through my curriculum today and I didn't put all of the weeks, but we set the foundation. We work on clarity and intention. We let go of limiting beliefs, the gunk we're holding on to. There's a whole week about embodying confidence and owning your power, emotional alignment, cultivating joy and gratitude, manifesting abundance and aligning with prosperity. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. And deep inner peace. That's supposed to say trusting the journey, not truding it. And so even though I have it broken up, and there are two more different titles of what I'm teaching. So there's 8 total. And then the last 4 weeks, we come back around. But all of these ideas move through the weeks. And I just want to say this about abundance. We want freedom. We don't really want money. I believe we want freedom. But with money comes freedom. And so many people I work with are in a lack mentality. And as long as we feel lack, we're going to be creating lack because we create whatever it is we're feeling inside of ourselves. And I can speak on this because I lived a lifetime of lack. As soon as we start to align with prosperity within ourselves, we start to see prosperity in our life. So even though 1 week is just about money and prosperity, it goes through the entire 12 weeks because money doesn't flow to you, it flows through you. Life flows through you. So, whatever you are experiencing out there in your life where you feel lack, and it could be money, it could be love, it could be health, it's because you haven't experienced the abundance inside of your body. When you begin to experience it in your body, you see it in your life. I hope that that makes sense. It's completely an inside job. Okay. So after the calls and the practices, that's all important, but you really stop being the woman, excuse me, who understands this, and you become the woman who doesn't brace before a hard conversation. You become the woman who feels things fully and doesn't carry those feelings into week and week and week. You feel it, it moves through your field, you let it go. You become the woman who takes up space in her own life and really starts realizing her dreams. It is not about understanding. That's the first step. It's about the transformation. It's about, and I keep saying becoming, but awakening too. It should say you awaken to. You awaken to. And so, guys, for being here tonight, you're going to get my Soul Alchemy library. So it's 4 of the meditations that I think are the most powerful. And Vicky's going to put that in the chat. They're in a Google Drive, and you can download them right to your phone. Some of them, we do some of the breath we did. You're visualizing your future. I picked out specific meditations that I knew would help move the needle on where you want to go in your life. And excuse me, if you schedule a call with me in the next 48 hours, you're also going to get a one-on-one clearing, energy healing clearing session. So you schedule the call, we meet on the call, and we talk about where you are in your life and where you want to be, and if my work can help you, and if it's the right next step for you. And then I give you a link to schedule your one-on-one session with me. I got to tell you something as I'm coughing. I was coughing all day today. Something's moving through me. I feel like I'm having an energetic shift with this, the eclipse season, and I have not coughed all night. I asked my divine self to let me be able to present to you everything I wanted to present, and I guess she said, "Okay, we're done," because now I'm coughing. So, if you would like to have a session with me, this number, if you text the word alive to this number, I'm going to take a sip and give you a chance to do that. You'll get my booking link right back. Please forgive me for coughing in your face. And if you text alive to that number, you'll get the link. You can schedule your booking session with me. If you schedule it within the next 48 hours, you will get that free energy clearing. I want you to know that, and that I want to say this, that free energy clearing is for anyone that has not booked a call with me before. I do have to say that, because I know some of my friends are here and some people that have had calls with me. And this is for anybody new that hasn't booked a call with me, wants to talk about whether this is for them. And I want you to know that my next group starts on September 3rd. I think that's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday or a Thursday. It's a Thursday. It starts on September 3rd and we'll go for 12 weeks. And if that is something that you're interested in, obviously you're going to text alive to me or to that number, and we'll talk about all of that on the call. So I'm not going to answer questions about that tonight, other than it starts on September 3rd. I have room for 10 women. I can tell you that it's going to fill up and you're going to want to start shifting your life. If you start September 3rd, before Christmas, you're going to be living from a totally different place. You're going to be a transformed woman. You're going to learn how to bring more money in for the holidays. You're going to feel different in your body. You're going to release the exhaustion and feel more empowered. And truly, your life will, if you do the work, it will and can change in those 12 weeks. So thanks, Vicki. So now I will stop the share. Let me just see something. make sure that everybody got the number that wanted the number, and not able to see the number. It's 757-797-9577. Here, I could put it in the chat. 797-9577. Make sure I got that right. So, and it's an Kaya, hopefully you got that. It's an automated number. So as soon as you send it, you should get a link. If anyone's having any trouble or didn't get a link, let me know. And now I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I just want to make sure you're done getting the number. Is anybody still trying to get it? Oh, thanks, Vicky. You're the best. Okay, perfect. So the number's in the chat now, if you would like to jot that down. And I'm going to stop the share. Now I get to see your faces. Hi, Deb. And a lot of names, and that's okay. I know it's nice to, especially at this time of night, to not have your camera on. But I do want to answer any questions if anybody has any questions. I know I threw a lot of information at you tonight, and I hope you received it. I hope you felt it, and you may have for sure had a shift tonight, even in that little bit of time together. But I love to open up if anyone has questions. And look at that, it's 8:27. I got it done in 90 minutes. Okay. Well, if there are no questions, then I want to really thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I am going to send out the replay tomorrow. So, because there were 168 people signed up for tonight. And so I know a lot of people do that often because they're just looking for the replay and they want to watch it on their time. So I'll send it to you as well in case there's anything you want to review or try again. And here's to your awakening. I hope that you felt it and that you carry something with you tonight that's always been there, but that just maybe you haven't been aware of. So thanks so much, guys. So much love.